Hey YouTube, it's Marita and welcome to another edition of the Nurse Lounge. And as you can see, we are in my office and I thought I would come on this nice sunny day in Nashville and kind of talk about my experiences in terms of working at a HBCU. So if you want to hear more about my experiences as working at a HBCU, then stay tuned. All right, we're back. My name is Dr. Marida P, and I am a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for 16 years, and I am an OB/GYN, well baby nursery nurse. I am also a nurse educator and nurse mentor. I am currently in my office working, preparing for a lecture here soon, and I just thought I'd come and just kind of share with you my experiences about working at a HBCU. So first I want to start off by saying that I actually went to a PWI, which is called a predominantly white institution, for my nursing school. So I actually, for all my degrees, I went to a PWI. I've never been to a HBCU in terms of actually going as a student. So, and I've taught at a PWI and I'm now teaching full-time at a HBCU. And I have to say the experiences are very, very different. For obvious reasons. But I guess the biggest thing that I could say, besides the demographic and the race, is that the caliber of students are definitely different than what I am used to. And that's not in a negative way. I'm just, when it comes to a PWI, obviously the demographic is majority white, Caucasian. And I will have maybe 2 or 3 black students or ethnic minorities. But when it comes to the HBCU, believe it or not, in nursing school, you're actually going to have quite a few not minorities, but you're going to have quite a few minorities, obviously, but you're also going to have quite a few Caucasian students. And I think that was the biggest surprise to me, because I was like, okay, you're going to a HBCU and we have a large, mainly Caucasian demographic here in our professional program. So like your dental hygiene program we have here, it's mostly Caucasian. You have your nursing, engineering, things like that, it's mostly Caucasian. And I think that was the biggest shocker for me when it came to going to an HBCU. Now, with that being said, they also get the minority scholarship, because guess what? They are minorities at this institution. So, or at least here at this institution. I can't speak for all HBCUs. I can just know what goes on here. And so they get minority scholarships here when they come here. So that's something new. So that could be as a reason as to why they come, because they're getting money to come, more money to come. It could be because the GPA requirements are different here. At this facility, at this school, we have now upped our GPA requirements here to be more competitive with the surrounding universities. So where there was a lower GPA requirement and they were taking like lower quality students, now we have upped the GPA requirements. So we are now competitive with everyone else. And so therefore we're more selective about the students that we pick. Obviously the culture here is something that I love, because again, I didn't get this. I didn't see people who look like me often at the school that I went to or taught at. I have no issue. So this is not a HBCU versus PWI type video. I'm just trying to share with you some of my experiences or things I see that are different. I had a very good education at a PWI. So this is not about bashing one or the other. So I don't do negativity. So there's no need for that on the comments. But like I said, I had a very good experience at the school I went to. I did not feel per se that I lacked anything education wise. I felt that all my professors cared about whether we succeeded or not. They showed us. Now, the students that I had to deal with, that's something different. But the actual instructors, they cared about us. And actually, it was cheaper to go to a PWI than it was to go to, or is to go to, or was back then, to go to a HBCU. So anyway, this is not about which is better, but again, sharing my experiences. Anyway, I am loving the culture here. I'm loving to be immersed in the culture, and I'm loving to be immersed in just the history of HBCUs, and this one in particular. And then I'm loving, it's forcing me to learn more about my history in terms of being African American. And I think that's the driving point for me that I'm really loving. It's just forcing me to really say, okay, who are you? You know, who are you? Who are you as people? Who are you when it comes to your education, and who are your ancestors that actually paved the way, specifically at this institution, for us to have higher education here. And so, you know, we are very much becoming state of the art here at this facility. We have a brand new health and science building that I am moving into in December. So in January, when I start classes, you will see me actually in my new office. This is my temporary office, but my new office in our new health science building. So I am elated that the government, or whoever, how they got the money, I don't know, but money has been provided to us to actually have a standard for nursing and for other things too that they're building here. They're building new dorms and things like that, that we are keeping up with the other institutions. And I will say, for the most part, that until we had that, I would say we were in lack of, in terms of technology, in terms of equipment, in terms of just even supplies for the nursing students to even use. But now we are actually where everybody else is. So I'm very excited about that. And again, you know, working here, it's a beautiful campus. I love, and even though I'm in my old office, I love my view. I love, again, the culture here. The food here is great. I mean, they really, really cook the food really, really well to how I was brought up. So I'm loving and enjoying that. Now the students, now that could be something a little bit different. The students aren't bad, don't get me wrong. However, everybody comes from different walks of life. And I will say that sometimes when you did not have proper high school education, it impacts you. And that's no matter where you go. It impacts you when you go to college. So I am finding that I have a lot more students here who are really behind comparatively to what I am used to even teaching at a PWI. And again, I'm not knocking HBCUs for that. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I just think that it just depends on who feeds into what school program, what school system. And so when the students come from certain demographic or certain school systems or environments, they're already behind the 8 ball. And I'm finding that I'm having to spend more time trying to get them caught up to where they should have already been than to take them from that point and go forward. And so that creates a hardship when it comes to nursing. So I'm having to go, you know, like teaching them how to write, teaching them how, or sending them to the writing lab, or teaching them proper grammar, things that they should have learned again in high school that has gave them a disservice up until this point. And then they're trying to go to nursing school. So when you already have that deficit coming in, it's very hard to try to catch you up. And if you don't have an instructor who cares, or who could point you to the right direction or get you a mentor, it creates a hardship down the road. So I think that's the biggest struggle that I'm having. In addition to that, I think too, because they think that I'm black, or not, they think I am black, obviously, that they're going to get a pass with me. There's no passes here. No, you have to go through the program the same way we all went through the program. You have to earn it. Just because I'm black and you black don't mean you're going to get a free pass, or you're going to get more chances to do whatever needs to be done. Nope, this is the criteria. You have to meet the criteria to move on. If you don't meet the criteria, you're out the program. It's just that simple. So they try to pull that race card here, and I'm like, no, it doesn't work for me. And so that's something that's different for sure. I will say though, I feel like I have more support because I've taught in both environments, and taught at a PWI, and I'm teaching now at HBCU. I do feel like I have more support here because the faculty here at this institution is majority black. So I do feel like I don't have as much of the undermining that I had at the other institution, where a Caucasian student may go and say, oh, she did this, that, and the other, and then they side with them just because of the fact that they don't like the fact that, you know, a black person's telling them what they can and can't do. That's been an issue in my other institution. Here, not so much. I feel like we all have a common objective to get these students prepared for nursing school, get them in, out, and tested for the boards, and then of course into the real world of nursing. And we are very supportive of one another when it comes to that. So me personally, I just feel like I have more support here, and I think that's a great thing. And then too, for me personally, on a personal note, it feels wonderful to be amidst doctorally prepared faculty who look like me. And I've never thought that to be such a big deal until I got here. So to have faculty who look just like me and have doctorate degrees, and we do have a few Caucasian instructors here, which is fine. It's great. Actually, it brings a more cohesiveness to the program, because the same way if you go to a PWI that you have black students, you need to have a few black instructors. So because we have white students, we have white instructors. So I think it's really a great thing, but it is HBCU. So therefore, of course, you're going to see more usually African American than anything, but we have ethnic minorities of all backgrounds. So I appreciate that, and cultures and things like that. So I think being here is culturally rich in terms of our upbringings and our backgrounds and how we talk, the accents that you hear here. It's just wonderful. And so collectively, even as a university, to have so many doctorally prepared educators, faculty, is so instrumental here. And I think that for me, I have kind of found my home in the sense that I'm like, oh, I love it here because of the fact that, you know what? It just shows when I've never seen another black nurse or a doctorally prepared nurse in other places, they're in abundance here. Or just people who are doctorally prepared are in abundance here. And I'm kind of like, this is where I really need to be. So, you know, those are some of my biggest things that I've learned when it comes to specifically working at HBCU. So of course we have a band. The band is the baddest band in the land. So, you know, we are the aristocratic band here in Tennessee. So I definitely love the band and everything that they do. I follow them. You know, I was following them before I even came over here, but I love the band. So that's part of the HBCU experience. Homecoming is great, which of course due to COVID, we're not having any of that. I think they're having homecoming in the spring semester, but nonetheless, we are having a great year. I'm very proud to say that our students here in the nursing program are doing much better than they used to. We had issues with NCLEX scores, but they're doing so much better now, and they're actually learning. And I think it's because of the fact that we have increased our criteria to get in, and we are weeding out some of the ones who are truly not interested in being nurses. You know, we've had people who said, well, my mama wants me to be a nurse. Okay, well, you're not gonna make it through the program if you don't want to be a nurse. So I think that is wonderful that, you know, everything is going on the up and up, and we are showing everyone that, you know what, you can be educated and melanated and come out and still be on top, even at HBCU. So I want to kind of get rid of that narrative that, you know, just because you went to a HBCU, you may or may not have a good experience. You're going to have a good or bad experience at either institution, to be honest with you. So it just depends on the situation and the person and what's going on. I have felt, you know, again, a lot of support here. But I've also had a few negative things that happen, but at the same time, you know, that's no different than it would be at the PWI. So again, it wouldn't be a issue one way or the other in terms of which is better or which is worse. But I definitely have enjoyed my time here. I've only been here in terms of full-time faculty. I have been here now for 4 months, and it's been an experience. I will say that it's been an experience with the students, with the faculty, with just getting acclimated. But again, it is what it is, and it's been a great experience overall. Don't regret moving out of bedside, not one bit. Don't miss it at all. But again, I love working. I love what I do. I love educating nursing students, and I love educating all nursing students. So it's not a race issue. I love educating everyone. But I have a special place when it comes to, for by design or by default, minority nursing students do not succeed at the same rates as our Caucasian counterparts. And I want to take a special hand in making sure that the students still have to come and do the work themselves. However, that they get the mentoring that they need, that they get the help that they need, that they learn how to write better, that they learn how to study better. I try my best to make sure that we are giving that, or that I'm giving that to them. And that's kind of what I want to achieve when it comes to these students, that they get the best education they can, as long as they come prepared. Again, I don't give any grades, I don't do anything like that, but as long as they come prepared, I want them to have the best education they can have. So anyway, that concludes this video for today. I just wanted to come and drop a gem about my experiences teaching at a HBCU and the things that I've been enjoying about it, and the things that could stand some improvement, which is like I said, the quality of student and trying to get them where they need to be. But if you have any questions about anything like that, definitely drop that in the comments below. And until the next time, you all take care. Bye-bye.